New Zealand. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2375. And today we are talking about, can photographs reveal untold stories? This is one of my favorite topics. And it's a hot topic for me right now because I actually have 3 large suitcases of photographs that were my grandmother's. And I am not actively right now, but I'm slowly going through the process of sorting them into family bunches and everything else. And there's some interesting photographs that probably have some really cool stories behind them. So yes, when it comes to photographs, they are the silent storytellers. They capture a moment in time that can, and looking at the photograph, you can tell a lot. There are some really cool books out there that are available on Amazon. And sorry, I should have thought to put the links into the description below. In fact, I'll go back and do that. Make a note. Description into, that'll do. Description for photo books. There are some really cool, there's a couple of really cool books out there that cover how to tell the story from the photograph, that basically tells you what's in the picture. You can, because photographs are hugely important. They are a captured moment in time. Like on my phone, I have this captured moment in time on my phone with my puppy dog, with Seffi there. And that's her on the recliner. For those of you that remember when I was broadcasting from the US, my recliner sat here, and you would often see Zeffie with her looking like that on the chair while I was doing my podcast. And that's how she would sit. And I would often turn around and she would be with her head on the armrest like that. So that's captured that moment in time and takes me back to all those times that, so my throat's just a little dry today, to all those times that she would lay there and watch over me. So images reveal relationships and hierarchy. So a lot of times you will get the family photograph. There'll be mum and dad in there. There'll be their children. There may be the grandparents in there, sometimes even the great-grandparents. But you can see, and usually the older ones are the ones that are sitting, and then the kids are standing around them. They may have the younger ones on their knees, or they may be sitting on the floor in front of them. But usually the parents are the ones sitting in the chairs. There's been different variations of that over time. But usually the older ones are the ones that are sitting, and then everybody else is gathered around them. Clothing, posture signal the status of the family. What type of clothing are they wearing? And these books that I'm going to put into the description, and sorry, I can't remember the names off the top of my head. I actually have a couple of them, but not with me. They're in a box somewhere in Wellington. But you can tell not only the time period that the photo was taken in by the clothing they are wearing, it can also signal the status of the family based on the clothing they wear. How well made is the clothing, how opulent is the clothing, and also to their posture as well, will give that away. And these books talk about looking for these particular clues in the photographs. Absence in photographs suggests loss or estrangement. So if you're looking at a family photograph and you know the people in the photograph, you might realize that there's people missing from the photograph. So are they missing because they have passed? They don't live in that area for whatever reason when the photograph was taken, or are they estranged from the family in some way? So that helps with the story as well. I've got a great family photograph of my second great-grandmother with her second husband, and standing behind are her children from her first marriage, and then on her lap and his lap and in front of them are the children from her second marriage. Her first husband passed away in a mining accident. He was killed in a mining accident. And so her 3 surviving children from that marriage, she also lost 2 children when they were I don't even think they hit the age of 10. One of them might have. She actually had 5 children with the first husband, and 2 of the children passed away during their childhood. They didn't make it to teenagers. They made it past the toddler stage, but they were like around 8, 9, 10, 11 when they passed. So they're not in that photograph because of that reason. And then she went on to have 4 children with her 4 or 5 children with her second husband. I can't remember the full numbers. But I know that there's at least one of them sitting on the lap, and the youngest one sitting on the lap, and I just had to plug my laptop in. And then the older ones of the second family are down on are around them as well. Um, that was that one, wasn't it? Yes, that was the second great grandmother. So that story tells, if you know the people in the photograph, it tells the story of here's the children from her first marriage are separated from the children from the current marriage, but they're still all together and it's one family in the photograph. Repeated patterns show emotional dynamics. So you might see repeated patterns. Excuse me. Look at this. I swear my throat was fine before I sat down for this. Repeated patterns show emotional dynamics. So you can see the repeated patterns through the photographs that were taken in that same time period with the same family. You might see that they all just are very in those days they had to look very serious. They weren't allowed to smile. And I'm like, why are they allowed? And a lot of times they didn't want to smile because they had rotten teeth. Yeah, think about that one. And some of the older photographs and stuff, they may not have smiled because their teeth would have shown and their teeth may not have been on the greatest thing. But photos will capture what words can never record. They capture that family moment at one point in time, in a single moment in time. And the other thing was too is that they had to sit very still for very long while they exposed the camera, exposed um, the piece they put in the back of the camera. While they exposed the film, they had to, take the cap off, expose the film, and then put the cap back on. And they had to stay sitting still and it was much easier to do that with a straight face than it was with a smile as well. But visual evidence often reveals what families never discuss. It can also help jog memories of stories as well. So people could be looking through stories and go, oh, yes, I remember that time. I remember, yeah, when that was taken, this was blah, 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 and that's what happened. Or it may jog an older memory, a story from an older member who may be in that photograph, may not be in that photograph, but was told about the people in that photograph and what the situation was for the family at that time. So it's a visual evidence that reveals what families never discussed. There are some photographs that I look at very closely because I know a story behind the photograph or what was happening at the time that the photograph was taken. So I'm looking at the photographs to see if there's any evidence or if the photographer has done very well in the way the positions things that what is going on is you can't tell what is going on at the time. And you're probably going, oh, that sounds interesting. Yes, it does. But anyway, so your practical takeaway is study photographs as historical documents, not just images. What story are they portraying? When was the photograph taken? Who was in the photograph? If you're going through a bunch of photographs and you know who was in the photograph and about when it was taken, put it on the back of the photo using a photography pencil, which is a blue lead, and it's archival safe for the backs of photographs. And it's very easy to write on the backs of photographs with these archival pencils. I'm waiting for my stuff to arrive because I'm pretty sure I've got some sitting in that somewhere because I've got a whole bunch of photographs to go through, which is one reason I'm not sorting them right now is I need to write information on the back of them. And I need to wait for my archival pencils because a normal pencil lead won't write on the back of these photographs, but the archival pencil will. And it comes with a blue lead. It's only blue lead that it comes with. And you can actually draw on the photograph with it. And when you scan it, the blue disappears. That's the types of pencils that we use. But at least if you know who's in the photograph, name the people who are in the photograph, when it was taken. If you know the ages of people in the photograph, put them there as well. If you know where it was taken, put the basic information you want on the back of the photograph. Who was in the photograph? Where was it taken? When was it taken? And if you know the ages of the people or the years they were born, put that information on there too. But at least who, where, and when. Who's in the photograph? When was it taken? And where was it taken? Put that basic information on the photograph because that will travel with that photograph through time. And it also means too that when you're scanning in the photographs, you have that information that if you're using a program like Forever, which is a storage program where you actually purchase the cloud space, and you can organize all your family genealogy photos in there. In fact, I might get Lisa to come on see if Lisa can come on one day and we can talk about that. But in the description, and when you scan the photo and you upload it into Forever, you've now got information you can put in the description of, because it's on the back of the photograph, who was in the photograph, where it was taken, when it was taken. And if you go from left to right, back row, left to right, middle row, left to right, front row, put that information in there as well so that people can easily identify the people in the photograph. I tell you, any information that you can get that you can put on those photographs is awesome and amazing. And doesn't leave the following generations questioning, what is this? Where was it taken? When was it taken? So your practical takeaway is study photographs as historical documents, not just images. If you want help interpreting your family photographs, send us a PM and we can set up a no obligation free discovery call to help you get started in identifying your photographs or help interpreting them. And in closing, every photograph holds a story. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And tomorrow night, I will be on between 6 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. based on when Zanakin's studio podcast ends, because we're starting that one at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to join us for that, you need to go to youtube.com/the @Zanakin studio. And we're broadcasting live on the YouTube there. And then you can come over and join us here a few minutes later for the between 6 and 6:30 for the Porchlight Letters. Porchlight Letters podcast. There's too many things to remember. But go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. Hei konara.